Okay, let us start the class. In today's class, I'm going to explain in JavaScript object methods. JavaScript object methods. So all these classes are free classes. These classes are being conducted under my Lakshmi Narayan Krishna Foundation. Thrice of a week, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, sharply at 8 p.m. in June. Okay. So these all are under my Lakshmi Narayan Krishna Foundation. So, as per that, today is Sunday, 3 August 2025. So, as per my promise, the classes, I started the class. Okay, so see what happened. JavaScript object methods are what you know. So, as I in the initial classes, I told you that methods are nothing but they are the somewhat actions. So while we were discussing about the object, that moment I told you that object has some properties. Okay, some properties means some characteristics. Means any object, if you take car is an object. It has some properties like car has color, height, weight. These are properties. That moment I told you that. So generally I told you the attributes. Attributes will be called as properties. Next what? Methods. So that every object has some actions. So car has actions, means some behavior. So car behaves like it runs. Okay. So running is an action. So car, it we can give a brake. We can speed up the car, accelerate the car. So these actions are called, these behaviors of the car are called methods. So object is what? Any object, real-time object, car, person, any object in the universe. Okay, we are looking all that objects as real-time objects. Any car, any person, any table, any book, any pencil, any pen, rubber, all are objects. So object has some properties, means attributes. Okay, and some behavior actions, they are called the methods. Okay, so object methods are actions. As I told you that car is an object, it has action. That action is what? We can accelerate the car, we can speed up the car, cars, horns, that is action. Car accelerate, car runs, it is an action. Car stops, it an action. Car is what? Object. So all the actions of any object are called methods. Okay. Object methods are actions that can be performed on objects. So the actions will be performed. So actions are what? Stop it, stop, run, speed up. These are actions. These will be performed over object. What is the object? Car. Car is the real-time object. Real-time object. So over that object, we will apply the actions, somewhat actions. The actions are what? Speed up the car, stop the car, run the car, brake the car. So we can simply say that all that actions are the methods of that object. So these methods will be performed over the object. Okay, get my point? Now come to the next point. So a method is a function definition. So method can be defined as a function. Okay. So function already we have studied in the previous classes. So every method can be defined as a function. So stored as a property value. So method is a function definition. So that function, so method can be defined as a function and defined as a property value. Let us see what property. I told you that object has so many property. If a person is there, person is an object. So person has first name, last name, age, eye color. So up to these are four properties. So every property has a value which will be stored. So I told you that this is called one pair of value. Pair of value matlab, this is the key, this is the value. So key value. So key value. So a pair of values. So property is what? Object property. Object car, suppose person is an object. Person has somewhat attributes. They are called properties. Like what? Person has a name. So initial name, first name, last name. He has some what age, he has some eye color, he has, so these are what attributes of that object, person. So value, these are values. First name is what? John, last name Doe, age 50, blue. These are values, property values stored. So that is what, now method, how that method can be defined. It can be defined as a function stored as a property value. So let us see what happened. So for now the full name is a property. Okay. Full name is a property. And here the function, this is being defined as a method. Okay. Inside of this, return this. This word is, it refers to the object. So this refers to the object dot first name. First name is the property of object. This object is what? Person object. Plus this means it refers to the object last name, object last name. So here, if we go for the example, the code will be looks like this. The code looks like this. Okay. Everything as it is HTML document. Okay. Under the body section, this is what header. Okay. This is the subheading under the paragraph section. Okay. This is the content written, whatever the content. Up to here, all are content. Okay. This is the head content, subheading content written inside of the head subheading element. This is the paragraph element written inside of the paragraph section. This is what, this is the property value, property values. So property value, how that, this is what John first name, Doe last name. So how we are getting the display? So by calling of the get element by ID method. So here I have passed the demo attribute. Okay. Demo, this is what this value passed to ID attribute. Okay. And in inner HTML, whatever this content, HTML content, that will be called, that will be shown. So HTML inner HTML, the content is person dot full name. Person is what? Object. This is the object. Object declared with the constant keyword. So object declared with the constant keyword, and inside of this 4, 3, 3 value, key value pairs declared. Okay, defined. Okay, first name is John, last name is Doe, ID. So full name is what? It is an attribute, and it is in for this attribute means for this property attribute, both are same. Don't confuse yourself. Property attribute, both are same. So full name here, method defined as a function. Okay. Method defined as a function. Function is the keyword. It is to be kept as a function. Okay. Always you need to define the function, because if you write anything here, na, if you want to write somewhat name here, was to no. So it will give error. So if you, the content will not be displayed here. Why? Because here function name is a keyword. So always you need to define this as function name, function. Okay. So inside of this, return keyword compulsory, because it returns, means this method returns the property value. Property is what? First name. First name value is assigned as John. Last name value as referred as Doe. So both are part of this object. This means it refers to the object name. What is your object name? Person. Understood that? So this is what you know. So as per your definition, a method is a function. Okay. Function definition. So here we defined function. So inside of this function, so method defined stored as a property value. So method stored as a property value. So this is the property value. This is the property value. So we can simply say that method is a function definition. Method is a function definition stored as a property value. How it is stored? Stored as a property value. This is the property of object. This we refers to the person object. Okay, that is the code. So now let us practice this code as it is. Okay, otherwise, so because of theory is very important. Before going to any practical session, while you want to write the code, that moment you must be equipped with proper theory. So theory is very important. In this example, this keyword refers to the personal. As I told you that this refers to what? Object. Object name is person. This dot person name means what? First name is what? This is the property of what? This object. This object means person object. Means the first name property of person. First name is a property. Okay. And this dot last name means last name property of a person. So now I want to practice this code. So here what I am doing here, this total code is being deleted. This total code is being deleted. So now I want to write the code. Okay. Now if you run this code, nothing, you will not get anything here. Why? Because you have erased the total code in the code window. So whenever you run, so you will not get anything. Write the code now from the starting exclamation mark. That is very important. Top capital dog type. Okay, next HTML. It indicates what this HTML web page is related to HTML5 version. Okay. Now next HTML, this code is written for HTML because this web page designed by using of HTML hypertext markup language code. It indicates that this is the HTML code. So HTML starts element, next HTML close element. Okay, now come to the next is what? Body. Inside of this body. Okay. And once you have started with HTML coding, you need to close with body section. Body that is to be end with body end tag. Now inside of this, whatever the code you write, that will be displayed in the web page. This is the structure. Okay. This is what we have done a mistake here. We have not kept that is very important. And then, so inside of this body section, whatever the statements you write, all will be executed and that will be displayed on your screen. So now come to the point. First of all, as I told you that what topic is what you comment here. What is what that is what comment here. Object methods. So object methods are what? Object methods are what? Function defines. Function definitions. Stored as property value. Understood that? Property value. So understood that this is what you comment here. So okay. Now under the body section, you write the code. How can we write the code? First of all, what we need? First of all, I need to create the structure of the web page. Structure of the web page, what? First of all, structure of the web page, it consists of what? Header, H1. Okay, header. So header, now header section started and it is to be closed. Now it is called one element. This is called header element. So every element I told you that has two tags, start tag, end tag. Body section has two tags, body start tag, body close tag, like that. So inside of this, whatever you write, that will be displayed on the screen. So if you write JavaScript object methods, okay, this is. So if you click on here, you're able to see here JavaScript object methods. So why you are able to see this? Because you need to mention this as a comment. Okay. But comments, how to write the comments in JavaScript? So why we are getting these statements on the web page? So I told you that single line comments will be started with the two forward slashes. Then after we need to close with the, that is what. Okay. Here column. So here we need to keep the column. Now run this code till we are able to see here. So generally these comments will be used inside of, you cut this one and they will be written inside of the script. Okay. Script. Script is what? JavaScript code. So JavaScript code will be written inside of the JavaScript. Understood that? So this is for what? JavaScript. So I can keep, I can paste here. So that is what? Whenever you have written inside of this body section, see what happened. Now, if you run this, you will not be able to see. You will not see any comments. But if you keep them inside of the body section, so what happened? These are looking what? White color. What do you mean of white color? Means they will be displayed on the screen. Okay, they will be displayed on the screen. So comments always that they need to be comment inside of the script. Okay. So whenever you keep the comments inside of the script, they will be turned into, this is what color, what color? This is cement color. Okay. Cement color. So don't comment inside of the body section, always comment inside of the script. Okay. Now body is created under this body, under this body, what happened? Try to understand. JavaScript object methods. So this is the header. Now, if you want to write one more header, what you now header 2. So header 2, that is what? Subheading. So understand now, that is what? Subheading. This is the subheading. Okay, subheading. Okay. Subheading means JavaScript object methods. Object methods are what? As I told you that object methods, they are the function definitions, okay, stored as property value. So it is a subheading. Next is what? One paragraph section if you want to write. So paragraph, it is very important here. Why? Because inside of this paragraph, we need to keep the ID attributes. That is very important. ID attribute needs to be defined with a value. That value, whatever the value you suppose Vasu you have kept here, no need to keep always demo. Okay, whatever the value you assign for this ID attribute, that will be, you need to keep in method, get element by ID method. Okay. So now this is the thing what we are seeing here. Let us see. So now come here. Up to this what? HTML body. This is what? HTML code written in the body section. Next, inside of the script, you need to create the objects. So first of all, we need to create the object. Object, I told you that how many ways the object can be created in JavaScript. One is that by constant keyword. Okay, so constant I am using. Object name what? Suppose person. Person is the object name. So then what? Person, once object is created, that object has somewhat properties. We need to define that properties. So inside of this flower braces, object properties to be defined. How many properties object person has? How many properties? So many properties. One is that property, that is what? First name. First name, it is a property. So it is what? A key. It is a key. So key has somewhat value. So value is what? First name is Miriam. Okay, Miriam. Next, terminate semicolon. Next, last name. Last name. Okay. It is a key and value. Value is what? Miriam was. So it is last name. Okay, like what? Next, is a key and value. 57. Like that. So how many values we have mentioned in for this person object? Three key value pairs. How many? Three. This is the first key value pair. You can comment here. Key value pairs. All the comments must be written inside of the scripts. Now you run. Okay, there is no any problem because the comments you have written inside of the script. Key value pairs. What is key value pair? This is the key and this is the value. So three key value pairs I have assigned for this object person. Now, what happened next? If you want to call them, how can you call them? By a function. So method. So this person has a method. So that methods can be defined with function as a function definitions. They can be defined as a function definition. Function definition is the function keyword. Function always has a bracket. Understood that? Inside of this flower braces, so I will call them with the written keyword. This refers to the object. This one, the property name. First name plus concatenation. So this means it refers to the object first name. First name is what? Miriam. Okay. Plus, if you want to give somewhat space. Okay. Now plus concatenation. Again, this dot, this refers to the object name, last name. So now what happened here? See, last name. This is what. So now method defined as a function, and stored as a property value. This is the property. This is the property value. Okay. Now, whenever you want to get printout, what? Whenever you need to get, this is what person object created. So that is to be closed here. It's a semicolon. Huh? So inside of this object, so somewhat key value phase assigned. So I want to get the printout. So printout is what? How can you get display? How will you get the display? I told you the display you will get by get element ID, get element by element by capital letter ID method. Get element by ID method. Inside of this ID attribute, for this ID, whatever the value I have assigned, that is to be mentioned here. Okay. Vasu. So what do you mean? This is a string. Also, I have assigned in double quotation marks. No need. If you can refer them in single quotation also, there's no any problem. Because that is a string value. String always in JavaScript either can be defined in double quotation marks or single quotation. It doesn't mean. Now come to the point. So next what? Inner HTML. Okay. Is equal to what? Inner HTML. Now whatever the content will be, whatever the content will be defined The content will be whatever the content that will be displayed here. Okay. So now what happened here? See here, the content, whatever I will mention here, that will be displayed here. So that is what, how can we call this as person with the object person dot, what is this first name? Person dot first name. Okay, first name, okay, plus concatenation, person dot last name. Okay, this is okay. Now you terminate this semicolon. So now I told you that this code is, this is for what? This is part of your document. This is part of your document. What document? HTML document. So always we need to write document dot get. Document dot get element by ID. So this is the content. The content, whatever we write, that will be displayed. Now function, this is a method. So always the function, the method, object methods, they are the functions, okay, defined as a function and stored as property values. So this is what, now what happened? Now this can be, we can written this as full name. Okay. Now understand. So what happened? This method defined as a function and stored as a property values. Understood that? Now you run this code, but nothing, you are not getting anything here. Means you are not getting why. See, here you have done the mistake. First name. This is what? First, okay, plus last name. As first name, you have written the property, same you need to write, but you are not getting. So some mistakes you have done. That is very important. Huh? So how you have done the mistakes, that is very important to find out that. So otherwise, very difficult. Okay, this is okay, this is okay, this is okay, written. This is very important. Okay, and then okay. This dot last name. Okay, is get document dot get document. What is the mistake you have done here? See, this code for display of the content. So that is you have written inside of the object. Object, this is the person. Object created with the constant keyword. Person started with, object started with flower brace, end brace, close. Now this you need to, this code is written for what? Cut. This code is written for display. That is to be written outside of the, your, outside of your object. Understood that? So I told you that this is the mostly used HTML, JavaScript, HTML method. By this method, so the HTML element will be identified and that will be accessed, and the content part of this inner HTML property, that is the content is, this is what, this will be displayed on the web page. Okay. Now still we are not getting any result. So still we need to check back actually what is the problem, where is. So while creating the object, constant person is equal to, we have missed here. Okay, this is the mistake, you have missed the is equal to. So simple, that is what, your syntax. Okay, don't worry about that. If you have done any mistake, that is what syntax mistakes. Syntax means small mistakes like keeping is equal to, don't worry that. So that you can refer that books and that material wherever you are studying. in that material, you go there and you can refer them. If any syntax mistakes, if I have done, you find out them and you can simply, I mean, like that, whatever. See here, I told you that one mistake, this is the important is equal some word mistakes I have done. Uh, that is what, this method is part of HTML document. So this method we need to write document dot, and this code we have written inside of this object, person object, inside of this braces. Okay, this is start brace, this is the close brace. Here inside of this I have written. So now what I did here, I have taken that code and kept outside of this. So is equal to I have kept. So still I am not getting. So go there and refer the topics and wherever. So generally what happened, in this object person, every key and value pairs I have closed it with the semicolon. Now, as per syntax, what you need to separate every key value pair with the comma. Okay, every key value pair must be then after comma. Understood that? Now run this. Now you are getting the result. Understood that? This is called your coding. And here, if you want to keep some distance, you keep a empty. That is what? Again, concatenation. How much of space you want to keep? This much of. If you want to keep space like what? Understood that? So this is the content that is being displayed. So this content is part of your inner HTML, inner property, and whatever the content part of this inner HTML that will be displayed here. And that method, get element by ID method, that will be used, mostly used JavaScript HTML method used to find out that what your HTML element, and then after the content will be displayed. Understood that? So little bit of mistakes what we have done here. One is that that is what this is equal I have missed. And one is that here I have kept the every key value pair terminated with semicolon here. Understood that? Semicolon. Semicolon. Now you run this code, you will not get the results. So this is the mistake. So remove this, and every key value pair, they need to be separated with the comma. Even the last key value pair also to be separated with the comma. And then if you remove this full name, so then what happened? Try to understand. So still you are getting, Miriam Vasu, there is no any problem. Still you are getting, but every function that is to be stored in a variable. For your next time, whenever you want to call this total function, I will call with that variable. So that is the good practice. So full name, without that also you are getting the result. That is not a problem. Okay, without this also you are getting the result. No, there is no any problem. But you are getting, this is the function. So always, whenever you keep somewhat like what X, so that moment it will be turned into, but this function always you need to keep function. If you call it as somewhat Y, so you will not get the result. See, you are not get, because you need to keep that function keyword here. Okay, understood that. Now you run this code, you are getting the result. Okay. So this is the very simple code, and you practice yourself, and you need to understand every point of whatever we have studied here. This is a very class is what object methods function. What is object method? So if you want to display as a content, one more project, that is what your paragraph section, you create one more paragraph section, and with the start tag, with close tag. Now one paragraph section started and with start tag close inside of this content. you keep this total content. So that will be displayed because whenever you keep, so that will be displayed as a content. So where under the it displayed, where it displayed, you keep this as why you are getting here. That is why because of na this paragraph section that is to be kept just before this ID always. Okay. Why cut? You paste here. So now this content will be displayed above, just beneath the subheading. Then after whatever the content is part of this HTML element, and that will be filled into this ID attribute. Okay, and that will be displayed here. See, now this is okay. So means what now that your class is what this is. Object method is what it is a function definition. Means object method will be defined as a function and stored as a property. Stored as a property value. Stored as a property value. That will be displayed. This is the content. Okay. So this is very simple class. I have briefed you, and these all classes are being conducted under my Lakshmi Narayan Krishna Foundation. The classes will be conducted thrice of a week. Okay. Thrice of a week. I told you that if you want to write any code for coloring of this background color, okay, that is what part of your CSS, cascading style sheets. So that time you need to write the code for what styling of your styling of your that is web page. So that is what under the style section. So if you want to style this web page, so that moment you need to do what? You need to write the code that style always under the head section. So this is the head section. Head section started with the that is what your start tag. It is to be closed with the end tag. Now what happens? See here. Now inside of this style, under the style tag, style. Okay. Style tag started, and style section close tag style. Okay. Now, so inside of this, whatever the code you will write, that will style your web page. So always the style section will be written inside of the head. Okay. Section. So style file, if you want to background this color. So body, if body background color, is by the body selector. This is the body selector. Inside of this body selector, you write background color, background, comma, color. Syntax, this is nothing but syntax. Don't worry, eh? Blue. Terminated with semicolon. Now run this code, but it is means what you have done. That is, we need to check back, huh? Mistake is what you have kept is equal, keep the colon here. So still, so everything is what. So what is the mistake? That is what your syntax mistake, and don't keep this. Okay, just blue. So you are getting. So this is what your background styling of web page. Simple syntax. Okay. Simple syntax. If you write this as red, so you will get the red color. So, and always that styling body section. Body section means what? Body selector. This bodies select by this selector. It selects the total color of your total. It selects the total color of your background. So like that we can do lot of that is what you are by if you want to keep this separately uh, by every selector. Now this is what if you want to keep separate color for this heading. So you need to keep what head section. This is a selector and then this is flower braces. Inside of this, whatever this code you write for that color column, what blue. Okay. Now by this selector, header selector, this header section will be selected and it will be colored, styled. You are getting what blue color. See, you're getting blue color for this what subheading. If you want to write, you need to select with subhead this by this selector. This is called selector for subheading. This is called selector for heading. This is called selector for whole body. Now inside of this, whatever the color you will write for color for this subheading, if you want to select for red color, you write red here and terminate with the semicolon. It is red. Understood that? Like this total page can be styled. So as I told you that inside of your HTML document, HTML hypertext markup language will be used for structuring the web page and style. CSS cascading style sheet. That code will be must be written inside of the style section. And this is called style section. From here to here, inside of this code, okay, and to style the web page, okay, and then JavaScript code that is to be written inside of the scripts, always script inside. Okay. So this total HTML code has HTML code itself, CSS cascading style sheet code, and JavaScript code. Now, and the total is called. So that's why if you anybody wants to become the web page developer, he must be having thorough knowledge of three languages: HTML, CSS, JavaScript. So really, if you want to become a good programmer, understood that? So all these classes are conducted under my Lakshmi Narayan Krishna Foundation. So these are very free classes. If anybody desire, if they're very interested, they can come into my classes. Otherwise, if they don't have any much time, you can watch my videos in my YouTube channel. So that will be useful to you. And why I have started these classes since 2023, 14 January. So I want to support the students who are residing in the rural areas and they are totally aware of network centers and also they are not afford to for expensive tuition classes, teaching classes, whatever. So that's why my intention is that. Okay. Thank you. Have a nice day. I hope that this class will be so useful to you. Okay. You can comment to me. My number is 911039311911039865. You can comment in the comment section. Okay. Jai Hind. Have a nice day. Jai Hind.